Hey, if you've been grappling for a little while, you've probably had the pleasure of dropping in at some different academies when you're on holidays or traveling interstate and whatnot. And you would know that just jumping in at a class at some new gym, you often end up having a really kind of rich, fascinating experience. Not always positive, but generally something that you remember. You come across some interesting characters and you have those interesting moments on the gym floor. And so today, we thought we'd get into what's been going on in our training over the last couple of weeks. JT and myself have just gotten over the Christmas holidays here in Sydney, and so we both had a little bit of time to visit some other gyms around the way. But our buddy Charles, who joins us on the episode today, he's out from London for 4 weeks, and so he's been making sure to visit all the Sydney hotspots. So cool chat about dropping in at some gyms, training with some familiar characters, some of the best athletes, heavyweight athletes here in Sydney, some of the best up-and-comers here in Sydney, but also we talk about the gym here in Sydney that is leading the way and has remodeled their whole mat space based on the CJI alleyway or pit. So pretty cool stuff. Hope you enjoy the episode. Before we get into it, I do have a favor to ask you. The majority of our listeners who return to this show each month don't actually follow the show. Would you believe this? And are not subscribed if they're watching on YouTube. So here's what I want to ask of you. I want you to take the 5 seconds right now to smash that subscribe button, hit that follow button. And if you are listening to this on an audio platform, please give us 5 stars. Thank you. Let's get into the app.
I'll take the bucket hat off. Sorry, Raekwon. The Wu-Tang.
Oh, I listened to
Get that bucket hat back on over the headphones. Get on.
I listened to a Wu-Tang Tiny Desk concert. You know Tiny Desk at NPR Studios?
Sure.
Sick YouTube crew, like YouTube channel.
Right. I don't have YouTube, mate.
But whatever. But
How did it go?
Raekwon it was just so funny because they're all there bopping around and Raekwon's just like twice the size that he was before.
Yeah.
But he's drinking like a glass of Hennessy or something. Just not even rapping, just like sitting there like throwing in the odd little piece. I know he's probably 60 now.
Word
You know
is
what I mean?
born.
Those guys
but
love
the thing
that.
is, they just
Hennessy and
look
the
60.
cognac.
Yeah.
They look 60, but they're not.
I hosted a Trend City night out for the boys. Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
We are. Here we are, 2025. Bring the heat.
Mate,
What?
you mean you're off to a bad start? We said that already. Yeah.
Let the bad starts continue.
So I hosted the Trend City night out for the boys, and one of the fellas, Big Harry, like
What is Trend City? Tell us
I don't know. So I trained. Actually, this is a fun story. I trained these 2 gentlemen, and they came to my gym, non-jiu-jitsu guys. One of the guys actually he did a bit of MMA, and you could say he's a bit of a shady character. So to speak. This is back in the day.
Okay.
And we used to train every Saturday morning and some other weekday. Fellas would always pay cash. You can kind of guess where this is going. You can kind of guess what the situation is going on there. And we used to just call that PB City.
Okay.
We'd call my gym PB City because whenever they came in, we'd
get
train.
the
We'd train. We'd get PBs. Anyway, these 2 gentlemen would come in. One time, only one of them showed up. I was like, "Hey, where's the other fella?" And he's like, "Oh, he won't be around for a while." I'm like, "Oh, what happened to him?" And he's like, "Oh, he's been he got raided last night by the SWAT team. He's he won't be around for a while."
Oh, Jesus.
Which is pretty crazy. Anyway, I didn't. Then the other guy kind of like trailed off a little bit. Didn't see him anymore. But that's so we called that PB City. And then I was like, when Owen started training, everyone thought he was not taking steroids just because
He was looking jacked.
he is super jacked. He's just he just does what he needs to do. He lifts weights and eats and lifts, and he's got freak genes. And so we're like, all right, cool. We'll just call it. I just call it Trend City. And we just, I don't know. We just had this thing where, I don't even know why we did it. After every workout, we're like, let's just take a photo. And then it just evolved into Trend
I love
City.
it. Those photos are iconic.
Me too. They are iconic. We got some really good ones in the bank, but we just got to keep it going. After every training session, you got to get a photo.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's where Trend City came from.
That's perfect. And so you took the Trend City boys out. Is this what
Oh yeah, the whole story. Yeah, we took the Trend City boys out. So Big Harry, he's from Kent, white guy, and we had big lunch and Harry was on his way. He's like, "What do you want to drink?" And he's like, "Man, I'll get a cognac and Coke." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "If they don't have cognac, give me a Hennessy and Coke." I'm like,
Dirty Southerner.
Sorry,
Where is Ken?
Sorry, what do you want? Like, you're the tallest white guy here. Like, he's like, yeah, cognac and Coke. And I'm like, what the f*** what are you, Raekwon?
Raekwon,
It was just so random.
Word is born.
Anyway, that was the story.
Yeah.
Paul and I went out for a dinner just before Christmas. Local place of mine, but it's a bit. They fancy the place as like a bit kind of upmarket. And so it's a neighborhood restaurant, but it's kind of. And there's a guy in there, Asian dude, right? And he speaks with it like a dead set British accent, right? Like, hey, doing, mate? Yeah, welcome. Yeah, okay. Let me show you the specials.
Nice
here.
one, Gov.
And I asked him once.
geezer,
I said, bro, where are you from? And he said, I'm from Vietnam. And I said, me, where did you get that accent? And he said, well, actually, I learned English watching Peaky Blinders. And he speaks
That is
with,
amazing.
with a 100% like. Well, it's once you tune into it, you hear he's not actually that great at English, but it's a Birmingham accent, I think.
Birmingham, perfect.
Yeah,
mate, perfect.
And he said, and anyway, so that's kind of interesting. But we're ordering some drinks, and he was going to make something for Paul as like a dessert wine or something. It was after the meal, and I said, I'd like something, but I don't want something sweet. You know, what could you offer? And he said, maybe you'd like to try an Essie. And I said, what's an Essie? And he said, an Essie, it's kind of like and kind of described it. And I was like, sure, I'll try one of those. And then I watched him go, and he grabbed a bottle of Hennessy. And I was like, it's a Hennessy.
An Essie.
An Essie. Maybe you'd like to try
okay.
an Essie.
Oh my god.
Anyways, me and Raekwon.
So you got on Hennessy.
Yeah, well, I had one. That was a mess.
It was enough to punch you in the liver. Yeah.
A nightcap, mate.
So you have been over here for a little while, Mr. Charles, and traveling around doing some stuff, doing things, training in the holidays. You were down in Melbourne.
Yep.
Can you speak about that a little bit, your experience and what
Did you go to Absolute? Are you down there?
I trained the Absolute once. Our good friend Mackay.
Mikhail?
I'll never get his name right. I love him to bits.
Mikhail.
Whatever.
The Bollywood Boulder?
The Bollywood Boulder. So what happens is my mum moved to Bendigo. She likes it out there. She likes the country lifestyle. So to be honest, most of my time was there. I went to Melbourne once. I was going to go twice, but I was like, mate, it's 2 hours there, 2 hours back. It's 4 hours.
It's a big mission.
It's a mission. I'm just going to do it once. But they had a sick gym in Bendigo town.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, it was like an old school bodybuilder gym. But it had everything. They even had a belt squat there. And
wow.
Like I was saying before,
Yeah.
I can't do axle loading. Not because I'm against axle loading, because I've had back surgery.
Yes.
Any kind of axle loading for me, like heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, even heavy like Bulgarians and lunges and shit, unfortunately, they just don't work for me anymore.
Yeah.
Because the facet joints in my back jams. So
Yep.
if a gym has a belt squat, I'm doing 8
Happy
to 10
days.
sets on there, mate. I'm gonna cook the legs up.
Nice.
So that was perfect. I was just lifting 3-4 times a week, and then went to jits once with the Bollywood Boulder. Love
Nice.
that guy. I was like, mate, do I go to the pro class or what class should I come to? He's like, mate, come to my 12 o'clock. It's more social. We're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
And we did. We just hung out a little bit after.
So good.
But yeah, being back in Oz, I love Australia, mate. It's the best country in the world.
Mikhail's always hospitable when you go.
He is,
when
man.
You go see him.
He is. We went to lunch after.
time.
We nearly got on the piss, but I think he had to do stuff later that day. So we're like, we'll just.
He was like, I can't be boozed taking the kids' class.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Yeah, but we had fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bendigo, is that like a rural centre? Is it like a Bathurst, big?
Yeah, yeah.
Big rural
Actually,
town.
I think it's got a population of 100,000. It's
Yeah.
2 hours out of Melbourne on the fast train. It's pretty quiet. Ish, I guess.
No, I mean, there's plenty going on.
There's plenty going on there. Like, I mean, you can get whatever you need there. Like,
Yeah, right.
You know, the difference between
They have like a couple of jiu-jitsu gyms. There's like an MMA gym out there as well. Like this.
there are a few jiu-jitsu gyms there. Like there's F45s and there's heaps of shit going on there. I think like, you know, I was saying to JT earlier, the quality of life of living in a small town that's 2 hours out of a CBD in Australia versus the quality of life living in a small town 2 hours out of a CBD in the UK is it's day and night difference. Why? Because the weather is just amazing. Like it gets hot there, but like just being in, you know, the sun, quality of food is amazing. It's cheaper. It's
all the things.
It's all the things. Where it's like when you get into some of these rural towns in the UK, it can be pretty grim. It's a bit grim, yeah, especially for older people. So I'm happy my mum's there.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Which is cool.
And so you also trained some jiu-jitsu in Sydney. I saw you at Grappling Education, but then I also saw you training with the Sydney West crew. How was that, mate? How was the training?
Great. Grappling education is a cool spot. They got the pit there.
They do. The pit walls are nice.
We were talking about the pit walls earlier.
Is that their only training space, the pit?
No, they have another space across the way, which is just like a smaller mat.
Okay.
But that's the main
In the same locate, like in that same
Just a
space?
different room, and that's where the people do the privates.
Right on.
So like I think they do all the group classes in where the pit is. So it's just a big mat space. I think there's a few pillars
Two
on
columns,
there.
whatever.
2 columns, whatever, and it's encapsulated around the pit.
So good.
Did I use the pit? Yes, to watch other people's rounds. I was just sitting back, just
Lying
like,
back on, or sitting up on the top.
You go to Bobby Sandu's Instagram and you can see me just sitting there chilling,
Trolling him.
just trolling Bobby.
Just stand up, Bobby.
Bobby, just get out, mate. He's getting
Wrecked by Seb.
He got wrecked by Seb. To be fair, Bobby's good. Man.
Bobby's very good.
He is very good. He's got a great rear naked. His legs are hard to get
Bobby
through.
is a big guy.
He's tall, as
Bro.
and he's long.
Yeah.
He's long. If he gets
The
to your
longest.
back, you're in trouble. We had a good round at Sydney West. Luke was watching the whole round. He got to my back. I escaped the back. He ended up bottom out, and I was just punishing him bottom out. I was like, that's a win.
Bobby's tough,
But Bobby,
he's unpredictable.
He's good, and he's just such a great guy.
Let's talk about bad investments for a second. I do this often. You probably are guilty of this too. You finish training, you drink your water, you empty your water can or whatever, and you go to the shop because you're still thirsty. Gas station, corner store, whatever it is. And you're looking for electrolytes because you know that electrolytes are the thing, right? Michael Jordan used to drink them. You see it in sports. Get me some salt, get me some magnesium, etc. And you end up buying a Gatorade or a Powerade over here in Australia, and the shit's really expensive and it tastes good, but it actually doesn't have much going on in the way of electrolytes at all. The dose is pretty minimal. I'll tell you what a good investment is. A good investment is acting ahead of time and having something like Sodi in your gym bag so that you know you can be optimally hydrated and you can be having a powerful dose of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, right, which are the electrolytes your body needs to perform at its best, in your system before training and then ready for you to go after training. This is absolutely the best investment you can make when it comes to hydration. And the beauty of it is that it works out way cheaper than a Gatorade. So if you are the kind of person that finds yourself going to the corner store most days after training and buying the expensive sports drink, don't do it anymore. Go to Sodi, sodii.com.au, and buy yourself some of this elite stuff, because I'll tell you what, I use this every day when I wake up, and then I use it again before I get to the gym and after training, especially in summer when I'm sweating a lot, and nothing makes me feel hydrated or perform as well as drinking Sodi on a regular basis. Get your hands on some now. If you're not sure which flavor you like, grapefruit is my personal favorite, but if you're not sure, get their taster sample pack. It gives you a nice little sample of the full range of flavors, which are all pretty excellent, and you can find your favorite flavor. Get Sodi now. Go to sodii.com.au, and when you check out, make sure to use the code Bulletproof15 to get 15% off any purchase. Go there now, get hydrated, drink the best stuff for jiu-jitsu.
So grappling education, that was great. Met a few of the fellas there I trained with. I did heaps of rounds with Bobby, a round with Seb, and a round with this kid, Jude. And
Jude's very good.
Jude
Is the kid who came from the kids class and evolved into a monster.
So we've all trained with some high level people, and there's a certain feel that when you train with high level people that they have to them, their ability to create angles and leverage and like wear you down. He has that.
Yeah,
he has that, and I think he'll be very, very good. This Jude
next couple of years, yeah.
The next couple of years, I think this guy's gonna. If he just stays.
If you know the amount of bullying that he has copped at GE from Tito and Keller, and that kid has been beaten down by the best for the longest time.
Yep.
And now he's starting to turn into a man.
Bro, we did a 6-minute round. He must have subbed me like 8 times.
Oof,
Wow.
So good.
He me out.
He's brutal.
Really beat the shit out of me.
Oh, you went to GE over the break too?
I did. I was actually there on, I think the Saturday. You might have gone on the Monday. I think we were chatting about, hey, we should train together. And he's like, oh, what days are you going? I was like, I'll be there Saturday. He's like, no, I'll see you later. No, that's not true. We were meant to train at Sydney West, and I totally don't. I know. I said to Charles after New Year's, I'm like, oh man, are you going to be out my way? It didn't work out. I did go there. I did use the pit walls. It was fun as f***. I was getting darsed. Like this guy I was unexpected. I didn't really know this fella that well. He kind of stepped off the wall. We were near the pit wall. He kind of stepped off the wall, and so I'm like, he didn't snap me down, but he got above me.
He ran his body up.
Yeah, and I was like, oh Jesus, what's going on here? But he was kind of stuck on the wall and not breaking me down. So I just like got my free arm under his crotch and just went, F this.
Sent him.
Nice. Totally sent him.
Because he was already elevated on the wall.
Yeah, and then he was jammed in that little wedge bit, and I was just like, you try to dast me, you. I was putting so much pressure on him, and I was like, did you try and alleyway fuck me, bro? I was like, no, I wasn't doing that, but I put so much pressure on him because he couldn't hip escape. The wall's mad.
Stuck. He's wedged in.
He's so stuck, and I was like,
What
wow.
when you're in that little return, like where it?
Yeah, if you half
Just
on the
at
wall,
the bottom thing.
Yeah.
And you slide down too.
Yeah.
You can't. It's slippery.
You don't stay up there.
You can't because you're trying to just wedge yourself up against a slant, and because you're sweaty, if you try and get grips on it, you just slide back down.
your feet kick out from under you.
Yeah.
So you can't like cage walk.
Yeah, right.
You know. Anyway, it made me think that's fun. Like that extra element, which you don't get in normal jiu-jitsu, is fun. And you can just jump on someone and do, not a flying guillotine, but like
Some crazy shit.
you can do some shit that you just cannot do without that little bit of elevation. It's like, wow, this is a fucking thing. And then Instagram, listening to my conversations or what I like, immediately pops up with like Pit Bros, the business that makes wooden slant boards so that you can organize a temporary pit and put your jiu-jitsu mats up against.
Right on.
And I was like, Pit Bros, this is a fucking business?
I hope
Wow.
it keeps happening. I like the pit. I think it's a great work form.
Mate, I think it's fantastic.
CJI,
If you haven't done it, it is a really fun inclusion in grappling.
Yeah, right.
It's phenomenal.
Did you notice? 'Cause I'm just trying to think, but you often have to restart. Like you often go out of bounds or whatever, but you got no restarts.
There's no restart.
Do you notice that? Like, do you notice that it's just continuous or not?
when you're watching it,
When you're there grappling in it.
I don't know. I was just resting on it.
No, I think if you are strategic, you can work against it. Like you can work someone up against it and set your takedown up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's a strategic tool,
Yeah.
and you can just run up that mother. It's like being a kid on a skate ramp. Some shit. You're like,
It's fun options, right?
just adds fun. Yeah, it's mad. I think it's if you haven't done it, do it because it is absolutely a plus for like jiu-jitsu. It's mad.
If you're in Sydney, grappling education, that's the place, right?
Yeah, they got it built in.
And they're the only ones that we know of that has it.
Well, I think we're going to see more gyms because you see it very commonly. Jiu-jitsu gyms like, oh, we do MMA now, so they put up a cage. I think what we'll see more is the pit wall.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see that.
Is it space efficient for a smaller gym?
Not heaps.
Just do one wall.
One wall.
Just do one. That's where the pit
Ah,
bros
that's
come
cool.
in. So there's the space. You just go wall that.
Bit of
and then
work against it.
You can just do a bit of work against them, I guess.
Yeah.
Because once you're on the wall, you ain't moving around too much.
No.
You just slide straight down.
Yeah. It's a different feel, but I definitely, if you get the opportunity,
Get on it.
It's fucking good. I think that it's so, because for me, I was like, the CJI influence, it's already happening.
Just
you
send
know?
it. It's sick.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really positive. But you went and you trained with Sydney West boys, and you also had a good chat with Josh Saunders.
Yep.
Talk to me, boy. Talk to me about that experience.
I think Sydney West is sick. It's out in Penrith, which is only an hour out from. I'm staying at Tamarama, and I was like, oh god, I gotta get out to Penrith. Like it's a fucking mission to get out to, but it's an hour drive. It is a mission to get out to if you live in the east.
Everywhere's a mission from the east, though, isn't it?
Everyone's a mission from the east, but eastern suburbs is the best spot to live. I think
It's very nice.
it's very nice, but we can circle back to that, Joey.
Yeah, arguable.
Arguable. The mats there are great. Honestly, I think those guys couldn't be any more friendly. The class structure is pretty fucking sick. Like it's similar to how Los Bandidos is running UK. You get there, you just kind of like you go through some techniques, and then you do specifics on that. A few more specifics, then you get into open rounds, and there's some big tough out there, mate. And obviously Josh Saunders is a fucking monster.
The biggest.
Luke is fucking good as well. I did a couple rounds. I think I did 3 rounds with Luke, rounds with Josh. I was just getting beat up, man.
It's tough.
But it was
Tough
tough.
day.
But Yeah, I did a podcast out there with Josh Saunders as well. He's a great fella. Very. He's locked in, mate. He's locked in on his business. He's locked in on his content creation, and he's locked in with his jits. And it's great to see. It's great to see someone just being like, I want to do this, and he's just pursuing his dreams, and he's crushing it. And you got to get around that. So,
credit to him.
Yeah. He's a great fella, and he's got good jits.
I was thinking about that before. It probably, like for someone like that, right? When you see someone who is, he's a huge guy, right?
Huge.
He's performance enhanced, and he's doing all these, right? He's got this online business and he's doing this content creation. It's really easy to conflate all of that and be like, oh, well, he's got all of that because of the juice or because he's a big guy.
This is what we spoke about.
Yeah, but you're like, no, he's actually high level at like multiple things and actively maintaining that. And I think it is a really good point to give credit to.
Bro, he went to, so in Sydney, he went to a school called Hill Sports High. And if you're not from Australia, like most listeners won't be from, Hill Sports High is like probably the best sports school in Australia.
So like Castle Hill or some shit?
It's, I think, yeah, it's somewhere around there out west. And like these guys, like they get out a lot of Australian professional rugby players and shit.
It's a pro athlete factory.
Yeah, it's a pro athlete factory. These guys are weapons. So he's been playing high level sport since he was like 13, 12 years old. And we chatted on the thing. He used to he'd do sport at school, S&C after school, then go to footy training, and then sometimes he would even drive back from after all that and go train arms again. So he's training like 3-4 times a day.
He loves to train arms.
7 days a week for years.
Wow.
Whilst playing high level sport. He played a couple games in the NRL. So he's a fucking athlete. And then like he's talking about when he went full-time jits over the COVID period, he just got his mates just asked him, do you want to come do some jits? And he's like, yeah, I'll have a crack. And he was like just bullying people who had been doing jits for like 6 to 12 months, and he just get them on bottom side control and just pin them there, and they're like, they can't move, obviously because he's so big and strong. And he's like, I love this. And then COVID happened. He was a PT, and he's like, I've got no money, but I love doing jits. I'm just gonna do jits. And he just committed to it. He's like, I'm just going to commit to this.
At that beginner stage.
At that beginner stage.
Wow.
He's like, I'm just going to train 2-3 times a day and just get some online PT so I can live. I mean, it's impressive to be, and he's like, I'm going to be fucked anyway. So I make like, right now I don't have any, I'm making more money.
Yeah.
And people don't see that. People are like, oh, he's a big guy. It's easy for him. It's easy for him. It's like, well, he made a decision when he was like broke basically to just commit 100% to this. And like, and now because he got way better at jits because he's committed to the process. Obviously, he's a good athlete as well, and he's just like going as hard as he can on it, and it's paying off for him.
Yeah, and I mean, also he is a strong personality, right?
He's a
vocal.
He loves confrontation.
Character. Yeah, loves it.
He goes, I'm 98% disagreeable. And
well, that's why I think he and I get on so well.
Yeah, you have a conversation with him even at lunch, and we're just talking about religion, politics, all that kind of stuff, like stuff that will get him cancelled.
Yeah,
but it's fun.
It's
so fun to get him fired up about that. You're like, what do you think about this? And he goes, they're not conspiracy theories, they're spoiler alerts. He loves it. So yeah, good training out at Sydney West. That was fun. And Sydney Wrestling Academy, trained out there with Lucas Kennard and the other fella, I keep forgetting his name, nice guy. I think Sid his name? There's another fella who co-owns Sydney Wrestling Academy.
Not Ali.
Is it Ali? Yeah, Ali, the wrestler. Yeah, Ali, sorry.
Ali, okay, he's a lovely guy.
Both of them lovely guys. Really like happy of what the space that they've got. I mean, props to them. It's a massive space. They're both.
Is Lucas a co-owner there?
Yep.
Okay.
They're both the co-owner of that space there. Lovely guys, f***ing good at jits. I tell you what, like it's really nice because I haven't been here in 2 years, but it's really nice to come back and be like, Australian jits is the boys are getting on, and I love that, mate. I love to see
girls are getting on too.
The girls are getting on too.
Right.
Adele.
Yep.
Yeah. Which other Aussie girls we got?
Yep. Nikki. We also have Nadia
Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of women coming up, like young ladies that you're going to see, like, so.
Love that.
Yeah. I think the thing is, like, for a long time, Hope Douglas was doing exceptionally well competitively. She is married. She's now Hope to back. So her and Ari are married. And so her daughter, Mia, is now, I don't know, 14 or whatever she is. She's emerging as a force, you know?
Sick.
And it's like, You've got Ari and Hope as your parents, and she's just been doing jiu-jitsu since she was, knee-high.
I'm keen to see it. I think that because jiu-jitsu is getting more popular, you're going to get all these kids coming up. Look at do you guys watch the NRL?
Yeah.
Look at the Penny Panthers.
Oh,
4 years
Dude,
premiership team. They kept the same team.
I live in Penrith. I am well versed.
So they kept the same team for 4 years, right?
Yeah, because they all
were the
came up as
Grassroots.
juniors. Yeah,
Dude,
of course.
that's fucking sick.
And
Grassroots,
now
mate.
they're gone.
Now they're gone. So
Now they're gone, son.
Yeah,
but that's what
too
happens,
much
right?
money.
But like, no one's ever done that before. Won four back to back.
No,
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
But it's the grassroots, isn't it? And I think in Australia, more and more people are getting. I don't know because I
mean,
Yeah, shout out I want to give a shout out right now to Ollie Silvestro, who is as a junior blue belt weight and absolute champion. Now at purple belt weight and absolute champion.
Love that.
The kid is 17. He's a freaking monster. Grip strength of a gorilla.
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't even lift. He just does jiu-jitsu.
Sick. Get into some lifting.
I'm starting to work with him now.
Good.
You see him when he turns 18. This guy is going to be ridiculous.
JT and I want 2025 to be your best year of jiu-jitsu yet. And how are you going to do this? You're going to follow a structured strength and mobility program that is designed specifically for you. That's right. You're going to follow a program that's going to help you build a strong, robust, flexible body that is resilient to injury. This is not only going to help you perform at your best on the mats, but it's going to support you in day-to-day life, and it's going to keep you as injury-free as you can possibly be in a wild game like this. Now, we have programs in the app that are designed for whatever training scenario you find yourself in. If you've got access to a gym, we got programs. If you have a home gym with a couple of kettlebells, we got programs to suit. If you've got a piece of floor space and nothing else, we got a program for you. So wherever you're at, even if you don't have any training experience, you jump on board the app and we will walk you through step by step what you need to be doing to build a strong mobile body for jiu-jitsu. And the best part about it is that JT and myself are there along with the full coaching staff to help you along the way. You can take a 2-week free trial of the app. You can train for free. All you got to do is go to the App Store, search Bulletproof for BJJ, and download that app and get started. Sign up now, get started training. Let JT and I walk you through the process of building a strong, robust body, and let's make 2025 your best year of jiu-jitsu yet.
Do you remember when we were growing up? Australia, cricket, rugby, swimming, tennis, we'd be dominating the world.
Yeah.
I want to see that for jits. I want to see Australia just come out and just tear it up.
I think you are seeing.
No reason why it couldn't be, right?
No,
Yeah.
no reason.
But Brazil, Brazil doesn't have much of a representation in those other sports.
No.
Of course, has huge representation in jiu-jitsu.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll
Brazil's doing amazing. Like they had, what was her name in the Olympics for gymnastics? Like Brazil definitely has like athletes that are
For sure.
performing.
But
Yeah,
it's the
let's-
exception usually when they're...
Let's be honest, Fez. It's the US, though. The US, they dominate the Olympics. They dominate the jits.
Yeah.
They
Big-
should.
big-
They are the global economic power, and they have all of the drugs and all of the training. Like
Hey,
they
we got the
have
drugs too, son.
No, but our government has like real hard line thing against that. Whereas America, they're like, no, it's optional. Like as long as you cycle off and we test you appropriately, it's fine. But Russia cannot be in the Olympics. You're like, I think there's been plenty of American athletes that have been, pinged for steroids, post success, and they're like, oh yeah, but that wasn't everyone. You're like, yeah, was it?
For sure, but it's big population too. Big population,
massive.
and everyone. There's a big jiu-jitsu is huge.
Something
there.
that was really highlighted to me by someone was talking about the high school and collegiate systems in America.
It's cutthroat, man.
It's crazy how
Cutthroat.
intense it is because how lucky. The way this person framed it to me was, how lucky is the NFL and how lucky is the NBA that you have these f***ing melting pots and filters of the best. Like we are filtering out kids from the age of 10 to be the best wrestlers, the best runners, the best. So by the time they get to college, and these kids are getting paid nothing, they are world class.
But that's their golden
And
ticket
then
too. It's because the NFL exists. It's because the NBA exists that they're like, this is my golden ticket.
But I'm saying that the colleges make money off these athletes. Like they're getting the money because the athletes don't get paid. So I was just going to say, the American system for athletic development is immense.
because you have the chance to get into that lottery. So Do you see what I mean?
Sort of. But we also have the chance to get into that lottery. Like Aussie athletes do go to those institutions, but we don't, for example, we don't put the money into sport. America does. I mean, obviously our economy is nowhere near as big as theirs.
Yeah, yeah.
We still put money into sport.
Because they know it sells tickets and sporting is very popular there because of the like rugby. If for kids growing up here, it'd be like, I'll be a rugby league player and then they can make a couple $100 grand a year.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, that's my
dream.
That's my dream. Do you know what I mean? I saw Strickland talking about this. When the UFC starts paying NFL money, that's when the people you'll really see a big rise up in. And I agree with that.
NFL is the most popular sport in America.
It is for sure.
It doesn't need to get bigger.
No, but it's like imagine if UFC was paying those mega bucks too. I think you'd see a lot of people being like, I really want to get into MMA. And I saw a video of someone shit talking that. And they were like, you think Khabib and all that kind of stuff, they think it's because I was like, yeah, it is. Like, if you're in Dagestan, like, think about it. If you're a lawyer or a doctor or anything, like, it's a sick profession, but it's not globally recognized from those countries. You go to any other country, like, I had a barber in London who was a engineer from Iran. Of course. And he can't get a job because it's not globally recognized. So for these Dagestanis, getting to the UFC is the NFL. Yes. It is the NFL, and that's why you see a lot of these that obviously they're tough as and they've been wrestling from such a young age,
and they're military trained, and they're everything.
Yeah, I think for wrestling, when you start that at a young age, mate, it's brutal, mate. Like wrestling is such a hard thing to learn as an adult or later in life, but if you get that kinesthetic building block as a kid in hard training, it's going to carry you a long way.
I think what Australia has, which is akin to wrestling, is
rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we could import more wrestling coaches, because America's been like, oh yeah, Russians, Dagestanis, come teach our kids wrestling. Like, yeah, please. Yeah. You know, like, and I mean, obviously America has an amazing wrestling culture anyway.
Yep.
The thing that's crazy to me is like Australia has more of a kickboxing culture than it does a grappling culture.
Ties.
Even though
Thailand.
Yeah. But you would think, I've always thought this for the last as long as I've done jiu-jitsu, I've thought, why isn't there more wrestling schools? Because wrestling directly correlates with footy.
Yeah.
You make them better at takedowns, they're better at footy. So why aren't there more of these footy kids training wrestling? In the off-season, they're doing boxing and shit. You're like, what are they doing?
What are they doing? Just wrestle.
Yeah. So that's the thing for me.
That's a really good point, actually.
I just
why
don't
would you just not wrestle?
And we are seeing more wrestling now, obviously, because jiu-jitsu is popular. But for me, like, I just feel like wrestling is the most underappreciated skill in Australia, and if you get someone who's really good at fucking wrestling, it doesn't matter. They can do anything.
A really good wrestler will crush people in MMA because wrestling is way harder to learn than striking.
Yeah,
way harder to learn than striking. And it's like,
you're gonna upset people here.
I think so. The
strikers come. We're gonna. What do you
get the headphones off, mate?
Come over here.
Yeah, but like I think look at Hazmat.
Yeah.
Comes up. Hazmat. Look at the hazmat.
Don't go anywhere near the hazmat.
Bro, his wrestling is so good. His striking's pretty good, but he can pick striking up way easier because getting that good at wrestling, timing, the conditioning, just like
I don't know if I would say that wrestling is harder, but I think that it gives you the advantage because if you can wrestle, you can dictate where the fight takes place.
Exactly.
But I think to become a high level striker, it's just as hard as becoming a high level at anything.
That's actually a really good point.
So you're framing it from the melting pot of MMA.
Yeah, in the melting pot of MMA, someone who's really good at wrestling will have like elite level at wrestling and like fairly good striking will have probably a better time
than someone who's an elite striker with average.
Well, we say look at Alex Piera, but yeah.
Can I just say it's a pleasure to have someone on the show that can actually hear a point and then like change their thinking on something. It's a pleasure to have you today, Charles. Thank you.
Frankly, I'm sick of it. Frankly, I find this level of
his response just then. I was blown away. I didn't know what to say.
Just a beta male.
I expected a no. F you.
Disappointing. But that's fine.
It's a very valid point though. I mean, look at Alex Piera. But the problem is people go and fight Alex Piera. They're like, I'm going to try and strike him. You're an idiot,
dude. You're
not going to beat. How many people does he need to knock out for you to figure out you ain't going to get close to him?
I don't know what Strickland was thinking in that first one.
Oh, he got absolutely. Everyone gets battered,
Yeah.
but I can't wait to see him fight Ankalaev, and I hope he KOs Ankalaev. But that's a very tough fight, mate. If Ankalaev just chooses to go balls to the wall wrestling, it's going to be a tough time for Pierre.
Hey, I got to run.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
no, it's all good. I think what's been great.
I'm fed up with JT anyway, so it's all
That's
good.
fair enough. We got to put a pin in it.
I thought you guys could just keep going for another 3 episodes today.
Well, I mean, maybe we
I've
could,
actually got to leave for no reason. I've got to go.
I just need to be somewhere else right now.
I've got to go put my mouthpiece in. Let's work it out. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It's awesome because, we obviously observe what you're doing.
And we watch very closely.
We do watch closely. We go, he's stealing
You
our
copying my work?
Yeah. Wait,
Hang
strength?
on. Copyright infringement. And ultimately, what I like is I really, and this is an echo chamber because I think no one's probably thinking the same thoughts as me, luckily. But when I see you and Owen and you're talking about something, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking relevant. That's right. It's good to see other people advocating for common sense, good things.
Same shit, yeah.
And even though you might have a slightly different take or a slightly different, or a very different take, it still contributes to jiu-jitsu folks getting stronger, training well. And that's all we really want, right? And the more people who are talking about it, the fucking better.
The better.
Like, that's what it is.
The better. And just if you see one of your boys doing it, be like, go for it, man. Go for it, man.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on our show and not punching my teeth down my throat. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the restraint.
Yeah, you've done well, Gov.
Where do people find your shit?
Get up, man. Stand up.
I'm
Charles Allan Price, Instagram, and the Charles Allan Experience on YouTube. That's it.
You legend.
Giddy up. Thank you,
Thank
bro.
you, brother. Boo.
Appreciate
Mate.
There you go. Ooh, sexy time.
Get up, JT. Let's go.